おはようございます。
おはようございます。
朝ごはんを食べましたか長谷川さん。
食べてません。
どうしてですか？
いつも食べない。
いつも食べない。はい、私も今、コーヒーだけ飲みます。
一緒ですね。
あー、あいや、はい。
Morning.
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 Good morning.
So, hello.
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 Hello. Okay, so hello.
Yes, good
Hi.
morning. Yes, good morning, everyone. Okay, so
Yes, morning.
today is the special day that we have the presentation from Mr. Ponlork. And
No.
yes, it's related to OSI. Yes, so it's really great. So please, Mr. Ponlork, present.
Thank you, Sky. So today I would like to show about OSI model that describe network architecture. So thank you to join today. Yes, hello. Okay, so yes, OSI model. So OSI model is a standard process data used in all network products. So OSI model is open system interconnection model. It creates to communicate with different products. Like example, one office use IBM and another office use Cisco. So it's have to respect OSI model to communicate with each other. So it established in 1984 and currently is still used in network architecture. So today my presentation is short because I want you all to ask the question. I think all of you understand what is OSI model. So I can answer to your question, whatever I can answer. So the OSI model have 7 layers to process data frame. So layer 1 is physical layer. Layer 2 is data link layer. Layer 3 is network layer. Layer 4 is transport layer. Layer 5 session layer. Layer 6 presentation layer. And layer 7 application layer. So to send data from one computer to a gateway, so it will process from application layer to physical layer. When respond data from the gateway to the computer, so it will work from physical layer to application layer. So it's like that. So the next slide is a question answer. So I want you all to ask me some question about those of this layer. Yes, thank you.
Okay, so first of all, I'd like to start the first question from me.
Yeah.
So in our reality, what is OSI model used for? For example, yes, in web
Yes,
in web application, what OSI and where is OSI model? Yes.
useful, right?
Yes, used for because I never see OSI model.
OSI model is used for global product to communicate with each other. Like you create one product that use other architecture, not OSI layer, not OSI model. So Mr. B create another product use OSJ model, so cannot communication with each other. So to communicate with each other, so one company create OSI layer that all of the product must to respect OSI model to communicate with each other. Like before, IBM have another standard, and after that, I don't remember, Ministry of United States create the IEEE standard for to communicate with each other of a network device. Is it answer to your question?
Yes, the point is that you was saying about product. So what kind of product? You mean the website is the product or like e-commerce is the product?
For website, it is in application layer, like you open a Google, so it is application layer.
Okay.
After you click to request something, so it will send to presentation layer through this layer. Like you want to buy something on the internet.
Okay.
Not more. So you are in application layer because you have interface like this. After that, when you click, so presentation layer will encrypt data and identify port in session layer. So session layer identify port. Why it know it is HTTP? Because it have port 80. Why it is DNS? Because it have port something. Why it have a HTTPS? Because it 443, right? And after that, it will transfer to transport. Transport is the identified protocol. Protocol, it is a TCP or too cool. It is a TCP or UDP. If a TCP, so it transfer by TCP. If UDP. So after that, it will identify IP address network layer, which is what is a destination IP address. And after that, it will go to data link. Data link identify a MAC address of a destination MAC address. And after that, it will through a network card physical layer. So it will send data via gateway to the destination.
And all those combination 7 layers are OSI model.
Model, OSI model, yeah.
Okay.
At first, network card should must to have to make a ARP to know each other. Like you have two computers, so when you connect to each other, the network card must to make ARP, syn, act, syn, act, so it know each other.
Okay.
Is it answer to your question?
Yes, due to I have lack knowledge of kind of this kind of OSI model, but yes, it's answer to my question.
Okay, thank you.
Then next, can I ask you a question?
Yes, okay.
Yes, thank you for the interesting topic. And yes, I know some OSI model things, but I always don't understand what is a session layer and the presentation layer, because other layers, layer 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7, there are many examples, like yeah, like as you said, but I have no idea what is layer 5 and 6. If you have any example, I just want to know.
Yes, 0.6. For layer 6, so I say about computers and frame just gateway to global. So presentation layer encrypt data from application layer, because application layer will send binary data 0101, and presentation layer encrypt this data, and after that it will through session layer it will identify port, which service is it. it's a SSH or it's a HTTP. After that, it will through another layer.
Okay. Then layer 4 identify TCP or UDP or protocol, communication protocol, and layer 5 identify the port number.
Yeah, port number.
Okay. Yes, thank you. That's answer to my question.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, maybe it's not the question, but it seems like when we use the layer 7, and from what you say, maybe the layer 6 and 5 is work behind the scene, right?
Yeah. Not behind the scene. It works by flow. So if the computer send frame to the gateway, so it will work from application to physical. When it spawn from the global VS gateway to the computer, so it works from physical to application. Is it answer to your question?
Maybe, but actually I don't much clearly about this. Maybe I will research more. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, it's really interesting for me too. So those those 7 layers are the flow, right? So each process cannot skip each layer, right? Like for example, like layer 7 cannot skip layer 6 and layer 6 cannot skip layer 5. So is that kind of the flow? My question is those kind of layers cannot skip each layer of for the process of something.
It cannot skip. It work from flow one by one. Actually, data cannot send 100%. Like your data is 100 megabyte, so it will send not the email is send a binary. Binary is 010101. So this frame will cut to my I don't know how many frame, but it cut to frame. Yes, cut to frame and send use which protocol, because I want to mention about what is TCP. TCP and UDP is different. So when you watch YouTube, so it's not TCP, it's UDP, because your video when you skip to which minute, so it will continue to play. It means that it is not a TCP like that. It's syn, act, after that send data, syn, act. Three-way handshake. But UDP no, send data, and not. This is UDP. So let me answer something else. So what you want to know? Is it answer to your question?
Yes, it's answer to my question. I understand. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
So for this topic, we talk about the OSI Model for network architectures. So I just want to know what are the advantages when we use the OSI model? And what are disadvantages when we use the OSI model?
Disadvantage, no disadvantage, and advantage, no advantage, because product need to respect OSI model to communicate with each other. Your network card have to work through this layer to send data frame to you.
So it means it's standard. So all products should follow that guideline. So no, that's why no advantage, no disadvantage.
Yeah.
Is that right? Ah, okay.
Yes, right. Yeah. So question, please.
It's just like us, Skype first.
The whole layer is like it have the instruction for the computer already. So when the computer send some data, it follow this instruction already. So those instruction is inside the network card already. Is that correct?
This OSI model, it work from this physical layer is a network card. Data link is MAC address. Network layer is a IP address. So we need all, right? So to send a task, you have to configure IP, right?
Yes.
And your network card have to have MAC address. And you need to have protocol, network protocol, right? TCP or UDP? Is it right?
It should be right. Yes.
Yes. And session layer, it will merge data back and identify port, because data will cut to frame. So session layer will merge this data back and identify port. And after that, this data will encrypt, because send from the outside will encrypt because it's through OSI layer. So presentation layer will decrypt this data and show data in your browser.
No, yes, I understand now. Okay, thank you. Yes, let's move to Link, Mr. Link here. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's just like normal people think that the application that can communicate together, but actually behind the scene there are many layers work inside.
Yeah.
Is it right?
Yeah, like when you send frame out from your network card, so you have example, you have a switch, so your switch know in your environment what which computer have which MAC address, because switch have MAC table. So switch no MAC table. So like in one environment, zone A. So zone A have two computers. So when you plug your network card to the switch, so switch do ALP to every your computer. So it will learn your MAC address. After that, switch know when you send to which computer, so switch know. This is a work in I think not behind, but it work like this.
Yeah, actually it's not behind the scene, but if the from the user thinking between the application, two applications that communicate together, they only know that only the application works, but actually it has more layer inside that communicate together. I mean like this. So do you agree with my point?
Yes. They sing, but the workflow not like they sing a lot. Like zone A have different subnet. Zone B have example. Zone A have subnet A. Zone B have subnet B, and they have switch both. Zone A has switch. Zone B has switch. So zone A and zone B cannot ping together, ping to know each other, right? So to make it know each other, so we have to have one router to make it route. Right? Is it right? Yes. So if there are two routers, so how it works? So if there are two routers, so router make routing protocol to know what the IP address from which zone. So router route what by protocol. So by RIP, by or ERGP or BC, I don't remember, BIP. Yes.
Yes. Okay, just one more question from me.
Yeah.
For example, if we have the 3 PC as client and connected to the one switch, we can say it's a middle switch.
Yeah.
So those PC are the same VLAN stack. So first of all, yeah. First of all, PCA, PCB, PCC connect to the switch D as the switch name like this. So when the computer A, they want to ping to the PC B, but they need before reach to the PCB, as we know it's across the switch. Yes. So how the switch identify the destination MAC address that the PCA want to connect it? I mean, how switch identify which destination MAC address that the PCA want to send data to? I mean, it want to ping to PCB, and the switch how to identify this, the PCA really want to send the data to the PCB, how they identify, because they are will the many MAC address of the PC client stored in the switch. So before they know what are the progress in, what are the step or the something the switch do to identify the purpose that the PCA want to send the data to PCB.
You want to say about VLAN? So for
it's
VLAN,
not it's not about the VLAN. As we know, it's the same VLAN. Yes, it can communicate if we don't set any ACL something. We just does not more for how can I say in short you? Again,
Yeah.
we have the 3 client PC.
Yeah.
One to PCA, PCB, and PCC.
Yeah.
And we have the switch. So those 3 PC are connected to a switch. So when computer A want to ping to the computer B, yeah, before the ping reach to the computer B, it need to across the switch. So how switch know that the PCA want to go to ping to the PCB? How it know? Yes.
Okay. So at first, switch default is layer 1, is a VLAN 1. So when you plug to your switch, so it default VLAN 1. So the same VLAN first. Second, switch will do ARP to learn your MAC address, your PC, and switch store your MAC address in MAC table in switch. After that, you make ICMP, ping to one PC, ping to one PC. So it use a layer 3 network layer. And after they send package, send to switch. So switch know which MAC address, MAC address of the PC, and send just your IP address to that computer.
So mean while we connected the network cable, so when we connected, so the switch make the IP the MAC table first, right? If
it learn your MAC address,
yeah,
by via ARP.
Okay, learn MAC address, install and the MAC table on the switch, is it?
Yes, that's right.
Then if the computer A ping to the computer B, firstly the switch will be look forward which the MAC address in its switch that's stored in a MAC table. If for example the computer A they ping to the computer B, so firstly the switch will look in the MAC table which the MAC address is belong to the which client PC, is it?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so thank you. Yes.
Yes.
And if I can add something more, first PCA want to send ping to PCB, then PCA should know the IP address of PCB, destination IP address.
Yeah.
Then PCA try to send to PCB, ping PCB. PCA should ask who have this IP address. Then PCB should say, yeah, this is my IP address and my MAC address is this. Then PCA can find the destination MAC address. Then PCA send the ping to switch first, and the switch send the ping, forward the ping to the destination MAC address. Then, yeah, I think the flow is like that. And if unfortunately nobody says this IP is my IP address, then switch broadcast that packet to all port. Yeah, I think the process is like that.
Yes, yes. Go switch, you know, which port that one PC plug, which PC plug. After it learns, so it know which port that this PC plug.
And related to this, with the ping protocol, sometimes if we see the respond the message like the unreachable sometimes, and sometimes it's the timeout. So could you know or something about that? Why it respond the timeout, and sometimes why it respond the reachable? It can you detail that some process why like that? Yes, we just know that if we see the timeout or unreachable, it means that the message the ping will be failed. But how we know the why and what are different that identify with the timeout and unreachable? Yes.
To ping to one PC to one PC, they use ARP. ARP is three-way handshake. SYN send packet to PCB, PCA send packet to PCB. After PCB, acknowledgement to PCA, and after that, PCA can send data to PCB. I mean that if PCA, because we use TCP, so PCA send data to PCB. So if no acknowledge from PCB, it will cannot connect or request timeout. And sometimes request timeout is respond from your gateway. Yes, it's like that. Yes, is it answered your question?
Yes. I don't understand yet. Yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for the answer. Yes. Yes.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Mr. Ponlork, do you have ever heard about TCP/IP model? And is any something different, and are they used for the same thing?
TCP, it uses three-way handshake, and normally we use the two TCP or UDP. UDP, it send data, not act from PCA send data to PCB. So PCA send data to PCB, not acknowledge from PCB. But TCP, it acknowledge send data, SYN act after send data, and at this SYN act that receive.
Yes, sorry, I mean this TCP/IP model. It's another model.
TCP/IP.
Yeah, we have OSI model, and currently we have another TCP/IP model, and they look very similar.
Network layer.
TCP/IP is this layer. IP Internet Protocol. So TCP is a network protocol. How computer send frame to another computer, and via IP. Just IP. So it normally say TCP/IP, UDP/IP. UDP send data just IP too. Is it answers your question?
Yes, thank you.
TCP is a network protocol, and IP is internet protocol. So hello again.
Hello.
Yes, hello again.
Hello.
Okay, so but do you have more question?
Yes, one more question. As we see in many enterprise, they have many sub-network, and by what is the advantage of dividing network into a subnet, like we use in VLAN to different networks?
For subnet, so depend on the network injector. So like zone A, zone B, so different subnet. So subnet A, subnet B cannot ping to each other. And now I say about subnet first. After I say about VLAN. So subnet A, subnet B cannot ping to each other. So to ping to each other, so we need to have one router to route the IP address, which IP address should this subnet A, subnet B can ping via router that normally we call gateway. And this route use a routing protocol something. And for VLAN, zone A should have multi VLAN. It depends on network injector. And if you want to one PC to ping another PC, we just different VLAN. So we have to configure DVLAN. We can like a router, it can make a two VLAN can ping to each other. Yes, is it answer to your question?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So sometimes a switch that sometimes switch have it work with layer 3 that people call switch layer 3. So network injector can route in this switch that sometimes we don't know in this switch can route. Okay. Another question. So Samdang, do you have another question? I can answer as I can.
Not yet now. Yes, thank you.
Sky, you have another question? Don't you wonder why you can communicate with Google or something?
I have one question.
Yeah.
Can we use this OSI model to troubleshoot our application, and how can we identify which is the specific layer that creates issue to our application. For example, when we have website or web app or some infrastructure issue, and we want to know the issue is happened from which layer, how can we identify that?
Yes, we can. Like the network layer. So if you cannot ping, so because of different subnet something, or you have configured different class of network something, and we can identify sometimes your network card is damaged. Yes, if your network card damaged, if your MAC address disappear, or your wrong IP address, or your transport, your protocol, something. Sometimes for network injector, they troubleshoot by sequence conquer, like top like a physical data link. So application work, presentation work, network card work, switch work, router work. So example, transport. Yes, half. Answer to your question?
Maybe it's part of the answer, but not everything.
No.
I think it's already part of the answer, because we have 7 layers. So because
what is your idea?
I also don't know, because sometimes we can have many issues. I mean, we can have many elements that create the issue to our application, and sometimes I also don't understand that what is the real issue. So
you don't understand, but you say this is a part of this. I don't understand you.
Yes, it's already one of the answer, but
don't understand you.
It's not all, because sometimes we have issue with our application, and we want to know why we have issue. So if we can know how to troubleshoot our application using this 7 layer, then would be helpful for our troubleshooting operation. Because
that's why I say if we cannot identify the problem, so we do sequence conquer.
So what is the sequence conquer?
Sequence conquer, we have one by one from layers 1, layer 6, layer 5, layer 1, layer 2, layer 3. So the problem is which layer. So that's why I say sequence conquer. So what is the, you say this is what the part.
So can you share some detail of how to do the sequence conquer?
Detail is that if your network card is damaged, so this is physical layer. If your switch damaged, so this is data link layer. If your application not identify port, not identify switch, this is application layer. Yeah, that's it.
But how can we know that application is damaged or the switch is damaged?
Sometimes your network card damage, it not work, so your network card. Sometimes your cable damage, it physical layer. Why you don't know?
I see that mean it's just the name of the method, right? So we need to clearly about we need to clearly about each layer. So it's just the name of the measure, right? It's not application that can be identified which layer that have problem, right?
No. The problem like your switch damage, so switch not have plug something or it damage. It's a data link. It's damage.
Yeah, can I can I also share my opinion about this topic?
Yeah.
Yeah. Most of the time when we see the web system problem, we check the access log and error log. But sometimes we don't see any logs, then we suspect that access doesn't come to the web server correctly. At first, then we may check from layer 7 to 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. And yeah, my opinion, to check the layer 7 issue, we send the call command from command line and check the response header. If we get the correct response header, it reached to the server correctly. If no response or something wrong, then we check layer 7, layer, let me skip layer 6 and 5, check port communication using netcat or telnet, send packet to destination IP address or destination host name with port number. If we get the response, layer 4 should be fine. But if not, maybe firewall close that the packet or yeah, something similar issue. After that, if we don't get, we get no. If we can also check layer 3 issue, sending the ICMP ping and check if response, we get a response or not. Yeah, maybe like that we can check step by step from layer 7 to 6, 5, 4, 3. Then we may know what's the issue. Maybe it's also one example how to troubleshoot the web server, web system.
Yeah. So is it answered your question? Is it?
Yes, thank you.
What you don't understand? Sometimes I don't understand you.
Actually, it's not. I don't understand everything. That's why I have questions.
So
because
right.
I don't understand, I have the question. And thank you for the answer.
Like you have for application, like you develop your web application, so you want to access to HTTP, but you send just port 22. So this is application problem, application layer problem. So when you want to request just API, so you have to use port 80. So but your program send just port 22. So what is the problem? Is it? It's a problem.
Do you ask me a question?
Yes, I example and I ask you a question. So what the problem is it? If your application send wrong port. What layer is it?
Actually, I don't remember the port, so it's the port's problem. So if it's a wrong
port problem, it's the application layer problem. Is it right?
I don't know because I don't remember. But if the port has issue, then it's the port problem.
No, we say about OSI layer. If your application send wrong port, so this is which layer problem?
Is on which layer?
Yeah.
If the port is on application layer, then we can say application layer. But if the port is on transport layer, then
no, because your application send wrong port, not this port not work. Your goal is work on port 80, but your application send on port 22. So what problem? Which layer problem?
But why the application send on port 80?
Just example, which problem of the layer?
Because if we have the problem, we should find the cause. Because if we know why, then we can correct the cause, and we should be able to.
The why is your application send wrong port. So it application
yes,
layer
we need to understand why that application send the wrong port.
Because
and if we already know it's a wrong port, we can just correct the port. It should work. But if there are like more element related to the issue, then if we know the reason, then we can also identify the deeper related thing. So we can also correct all at once, because as I understand, in some situation, the problem is not just happen because of one cause. It can happen because of multiple causes connected to each other. So if in that case,
again,
we need to correct all.
If you want to request API, just port 80, but your application send wrong port. So which problem, which layer problem?
Actually, I don't remember the port is on the which layer. If, as I say, if the port on layer 4, then it's the layer 4. Or if the port is on layer 7, then it's because of the layer 7. But I don't know the port is on which layer. I don't remember.
Because your application send not port 80 not work. Port 80 work, but your application send to port 22.
But
SSA.
But as I understand, maybe it makes no sense that the applications send on port 22 because the application will always send on ports 80 or 443 unless we write the port 22 somewhere, so it becomes like malfunction. So that's why I think we should understand why it happened.
Our topic is that how to troubleshoot the OSI layer. So the why is next time, but if your application send wrong port, the problem is your application, because the port 80 is work, but your application send wrong port. Yeah, so we can troubleshoot that this is application layer. Your problem is your program. Is that right?
I am not 100% because maybe because I don't understand because from my perception, I think that it's possible that not because we set the port, not because we set the port, so it used that port. Maybe it used that port because of something happened that the application used that wrong port because of something happened.
So another example. So the why to solve is next time, but the problem, our topic right now is how to troubleshoot the layer. So like you request the API via port 80, but your network got damaged. Which layer problem?
I'm sorry. No, it's not the time to quiz. it's a discussion phase. If
Yeah.
we have no discussion, I want to skip this.
Yeah, discussion. Yeah, I just want to try to make example that how to troubleshoot layer. I want to make another example.
And did we get any good
I
result
think,
from this discussion?
Maybe understand this quiz now, because from my points, sometimes we don't know exactly that I mean, we suspect that the network is broken, or we suspect that the MAC address is broken, but in the reality, we never know that the network is broken. We don't know the network broken first. We know the application is broken first, and then we start to figure out why the application is broken. Because if we make an example like the network card is broken, or the port is wrong, then it's like we already know the issue. But in reality, we have the problem first, and we look for the issue later. So maybe I misunderstand the quiz, because in reality we don't know the reason first. We get the problem first, and we look for the reason later, like that. But thank you for the quiz.
For reality standard, currently still use OSI. So if you are network engineer, so you will know what problem is it.
And can I say some example from me?
Yeah.
Like actually, I don't know clearly much about the OSI model, but from my experience, like if I make some application and then I want that application proxy pass to the backend server. Let's say the load balance server, and I make the upstream server is 1 or 2 or 3 upstream, and then of course I'm sure that the port will be correct. It's not we cannot incorrect the port, so I'm sure the port is correct. It can be port 80 or 443, but actually the application is not running well or it's not working. So how do I fix? I might be saying that from the source server to the destination server, the port is open or not. Like the backend server is open the port from the load balancer server or not. I think that we can investigate from this. If related with the port is, I will check from the application layer. But sometimes it's not about the port. Can be the ping timeout from the load balance server to the backend server. I might be investigate to the network layer. Yes,
is that right?
Yes, that's all my idea. It depends on situation. It depends on situation, and then we have to make sure that clearly about each layer that working on it. Like of course, if the ICMP ping timeout may be related with the network layer, but if the proxy pass fail or something like this, maybe something related to the application layer, or we can check the log. Yes, that's all from me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sometimes you ping to PCB, PCA ping to PCB, but reply from gateway. So this is problem from PCB because your network's not is as normal.
I understand.
Yeah. Okay, question, please.
It's already over 1 hour. if no question more, we can close this meeting.
Yes, thank you very much. Okay, by the way, one question to Yoshida-san. So after next meeting, will Yoshida-san is in Japan or is in Cambodia?
Yeah, I'm in Japan, but of course I will join the meeting.
Yes, I understand. Okay, so by the way, we finish our technical week presentation now. Thank you very much from everyone. It's really interesting. Yes, and hope I will push it to YouTube and yes, hit like and subscribe. Thank you. Yeah.
You for
Yes,
everyone
thank
to
you.
join and
Thank you.
question.
Thank you.